Hi, my name is Adam Skopetsky, and this is my integrated marketing audit for the company Twitter. Twitter was launched in 2006 by Jack Dorsey, Noah Glass, Biz Stone, and Evan Williams. It originally started as an SMS group messaging service. So Twitter, as you know it now, was actually not what it used to be. Before it was an application on a smartphone, how Twitter worked was you basically would think up an idea or message or a tweet like you would now, and you would send it to a phone number, and that phone number would then blast it to all of your different friends or followers into all their different phone numbers, and it would actually show up as a text message. So it was more of a subscription-based messaging service that people could follow, but you had to physically text the number to be able to follow it. And that all changed with the introduction of smartphone apps, and as Twitter as you know it now. Recently, Twitter is ranked in the top 25 of most visited websites in the world. It averages 300 million users per month, which is nowhere near close to Facebook's 1.94 billion, and 75 million short of Instagram Direct. But it is more than Snapchat, which is roughly 166 million users per month. So our strategic focus for Twitter is going to be rethink the pay-per-click advertising model. Now, a lot of people have issues with the way that Twitter does the pay-per-click, basically because it costs a lot over time or over how many clicks. For example, if I wanted to advertise on my webpage on Twitter, let's say I essentially had 1,000 people click on my advertisement. That'd cost me 25 cents per click, which would end up being somewhere in the neighborhood of $250. Whereas on Facebook, you can run an advertising campaign, and you can run those for as little as $1, $5 a day. It does add up over time, but it's not as expensive as Twitter. And Facebook has a greater reach than Twitter does. So our goals are to redesign the platform, make the company profitable. Twitter hasn't been profitable in 10 years. They have a lot of cash, but they aren't able to turn a profit. Their advertising revenue is kind of stalled because people aren't seeing the kind of user growth or reach that they would on other websites. And Twitter's timeline's pretty clunky. If I go on Twitter, I'm not usually seeing advertisements that are kind of focused towards me because it's harder for companies to kind of target who you want to target on Twitter. But one thing Twitter does have going for itself is it's the number one social media source for breaking news. If there's anything important going on in the world or in the sports world, anything like that, Twitter is the number one place that you want to go to. I constantly go on Twitter to check on free agent sightings, big news like big free agent news. I'm a Celtics fan, so I'm always on Twitter trying to see what's going on with the draft coming up, things like that. So Twitter's really great, and it's because it's in real time. It's very easy for you to get on Twitter, tweet something out, and boom, the whole world's going to be able to see it. So industry analysis, our biggest competitors are going to be Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and not so much Reddit, but occasionally Reddit, they do some advertising models as well. But Facebook and Instagram primarily are Twitter's biggest competitors as far as advertising. Competitive analysis. Facebook and Instagram, a lot cheaper to advertise on, and they have a greater reach than Twitter. They have just more followers, and with Facebook you can really narrow down who you want to target and who you want to get your message out to compared to Twitter. Facebook requires you to have a whole profile, your age, demographic, everything like that. Also, it can target your your IP address, so it knows, what areas you are. So if you just want to, let's say, advertise in Southern Florida, Fort Lauderdale area, you can target your specific ads to that. Um, our customer analysis, or people who want to advertise on Twitter, different businesses, things like that. All right, so our product price and place marketing program. So our product strategy. So we're going to get rid of the pay-per-click and CPM advertising strategy. So pay-per-click, like I mentioned before, how many clicks you're going to get per advertisement is going to translate to how much money you're going to end up paying Twitter. CPM advertising strategy is more like how many views you're getting. You're going to have a set price, so it's a little different. It's more of like an advertising campaign rather than a pay-per-click. So what we want to do is we're going to switch to a subscription-based advertising model, and we're also going to switch to a horizontal timeline. So Twitter right now is a vertical timeline, and the issue with that is when you scroll through Twitter, things can get lost in it very easily. The placement of advertisements, so much so that you can very easily rush right over an advertisement. It's going to just get lost in the timeline that's Twitter, and it's when I log on Twitter after a period of time, I'm not seeing the tweets that I want to see at that moment. They've tried to introduce something that says, when you were away, you missed this, but then it kind of gets rid of, and it's all clunky in my timeline, and it's a little confusing. So we want to do a horizontal timeline, have more people across the top, still vertical, top down, but we're going to have more users horizontally, so you can be able to see more. Price strategy, so we're switching to a subscription-based advertising model. So essentially what we're going to do is, if you're a company, big company, and you have about 100,000 followers, we're going to charge you $10,000 per month. For every 50,000 followers more, we're going to charge you an additional $5,000. And what this flat model is going to do is going to allow you as a company to advertise as much as you want to. And you're not going to be bogged down by the pay-per-click advertising model. So you can advertise as much as you want, as little as you want, and you're just going to have to pay that $10,000 per 100,000 followers, an additional $5,000. And this is going to be introduced to all of our current advertisers and anyone wishing to advertise with us. Anyone under 100,000 followers, we're going to keep to the pay-per-click model of advertising, and the CPM will be for anybody who's wishing to gain user growth and everything like that. Those will be kept free. So our advertising is going to be business to business. So we want to work with businesses who want to advertise on Twitter, and we're really going to push this subscription-based model. So 20% discount to early adopters of this subscription model. Now we're going to have a big press release announcing the introduction of our new and improved service, or our redesigned subscription-based model. I know there might be a little pushback at first with changing to a subscription model, because you're going to have a lot of companies that are going to be a little hesitant about, well, I don't want to I don't want to have to pay that kind of money. I can afford it. It's just for if you're advertising. If you, as far as having the, your own Twitter account where you're releasing videos and stuff like that, that's fine, because that's all user growth. That's all natural. But if you want to push advertisements on there, then we're going to ask that you switch to the subscription-based model. We're going to help companies by leveraging our current user information, emails, things like that, to assist in their advertising campaigns. We want to, help give back to the companies. We want to work with people. Our organization is firm. I don't think there's any changes necessary. Jack Dorsey has been doing a great job as CEO of Twitter, and I think everything's put in place the way it needs to be. So our plan to implement the strategies, we're going to slowly phase out PPC and CPM advertising. And we're going to do this in 6 months. So we're going to stop companies from advertising on Twitter who have not switched to our new model. We're starting with the greatest number of followers. So if you have 1 million followers, we're going to ask you to stop advertising unless you switch to our subscription-based model. We're not going to allow you to advertise You're still allowed to use our service, but advertising will be limited for you until you change to our new subscription-based model. We also will launch our new redesign of the horizontal at the end of the 6 months. And we're going to evaluate this by sending out surveys to all our businesses that are using our new subscription model. What's working, what's not working, how can we fix it? Just to summarize, when Twitter initially held its initial public offering, stockholders were very excited about the possibilities for this innovative new company and this idea. It launched at $26 on that first day, and it ended at 73. It was a massive growth for the company, but has been able to turn a profit in 10 years, and it's actually its stock price is now trading at $16, $17, like $9, $10 shy of what its IPO initially was. So, clearly people are, not happy with the way Twitter is going, and that is why I feel like we need to kind of switch up their advertising model, because we feel like we need to figure out a way to get businesses to come back and advertise us. Not just about making advertising cheaper, but finding and we also want to repair some of the damage, that Twitter has gotten, the brand image, that people feel like it's kind of a cyberbullying playground, everything like that. We want to change that. And hopefully that redesign will help us do that. And that is my integrated marketing audit plan. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care.